Okay, guys, I am going to kick this call off. I know a handful of our team is on a secret Success Club Society call with Autumn and her brother on a cooking time, but I don't want to waste any time. We are going to do our news and announcements and stay on. We have some important things to announce after this call, but we have a really special guest tonight on our Team Perseverance team call that I'm really excited about. With Sami Hoffines that I got to know. Many of you guys know that I'm on the coach advisory board, CAB, and that's where the executives of Beachbody choose 8 coaches to do a 2-year term. They bring 4 on and bring 4 off every year to represent the network of a few 100,000 coaches. So we get to be in a lot of meetings together, and Sami is one of the people that was selected by the coach advisory board executives in Beachbody to be on CAB. But just to give you some of Sami's background, I think most important, she's expecting a baby girl in the foreseeable future as a dad of 3 girls. I think that's super important. But she is a 5-time elite coach. She's a superstar 2 diamond coach. That means she has 2 15-star diamond business centers. So at least 30 diamonds she has sponsored. She's a Legacy Club member, which is the $1 million clubs. So she has cumulatively earned over $1 million as a Beachbody coach. And she's been a coach and done all this in only 7 years, almost coming up on the anniversary. So I'm really excited to have Sami speak to us tonight and those that are watching on the recording. So Sami, so excited to have you. And now the floor is yours.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to talk to you tonight. Just thumbs up if you can hear me. I always have like this fear that I'm 5 minutes into a call and nobody can hear me. Well, I'm super excited. I just had David and Kristen speak on my team call. So I was just having all the feels and all the brainstorm going on behind the scenes. So you get me in my like rare form at 8:30. Usually I'm winding down and I'm about to fall asleep with my dogs, but I am ready to freaking go. So just before I get into what I want to share tonight, the spark notes of my story is I signed up in 2014 as what I consider to be like a very glorified discount coach just to please my sister. My sister's name is Jamie Innes. If you've heard of her, she's a powerhouse in this business as well. And she grew up as my older sister as kind of like the fitness guru. She was a wellness coach. She was a group fitness instructor. She was a personal trainer. She was what I always looked at as like what a Beachbody coach is supposed to be, right? The person that kind of like checks all the boxes. And I love sports, but that was about my experience with fitness, other than the fact that when I was at Michigan State College, I would go to the bar and then I would go to the gym after to burn X amount of calories so that I could justify in my head that I could go back to the bar. So that was like my experience with fitness. And when she approached me about the idea of becoming a coach, I laughed. I was like, wait, what? No. But fast forward a little bit of time. I also suffer with anxiety and depression and have since I was 12 years old. And that was when I got diagnosed, but realistically is far before that. And I was in a pretty toxic relationship in college where it wasn't going well. I was also applying to dental school. And if you've ever applied to any type of professional school, it is thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of time. And I was in over my head. And so what I thought was the smart decision at the time was to control something that I could control. And that was fitness and nutrition. So I downloaded an app called MyFitnessPal, and I would burn X amount of calories to reach a certain target in the gym. And I wouldn't leave until that happened. And I actually spiraled into an eating disorder. And it was very exercise induced. And I didn't really know anything was wrong until I was a couple months into it. And Jamie, being my older sister, kind of picked up on some of the habits that I was creating. And she was teaching Turbo Kick. And I went to the Turbo Kick class at that point, not just to please her, but to burn X amount of calories to hit my goal. And I fell down in the class. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, well, I didn't really eat much today. And at that day, I had a yogurt and a banana, and it was 5 p.m. That was when I realized something was drastically wrong. And thankfully, I caught it at a pretty good time. But I say that because I always kind of consider Beachbody to have found me. And that was when around T25 came out, 21 Day Fix era. And I was very scared at trying another eating plan. I really was. I'm not going to lie with you. I tried a bunch of different things. And obviously, I thought counting calories and macros was going to change my life, and it only spiraled me. And so she had me do the 21 Day Fix, and I was like the worst challenger ever because I had her buy the 21 Day Fix base kit. So like literally the smallest version through her account. I wasn't even a customer of her because I, that extra $15. And so I did it. And I posted one time in her challenge group, and I went 100% all in. And I can honestly say that program changed my perspective of eating food. I was eating more food in those 3 weeks than I had eaten in years, probably at that point. And so fast forward some time again, I was a glorified discount coach, loved Shakeology. I was starting to really develop healthy habits, or I should say healthier. I wasn't to a point where I was proud yet, but I was getting there. And I went to Coach Summit, and that month was the first month I hit Success Club and turned into a business builder. That was 2015 July, and we've never missed Success Club since then. And it really changed everything for me, because when I went to a fitness event, I was expecting to see what I searched for with all the people that were doing macros. I expected these crazy chiseled people that were kind of side-eyeing each other, judging each other, and it was always going to be like a competition. And I went to the Shaun T workout because Shaun T is my boy. And I looked around at 5,000 people of all different shapes, sizes, colors, ages, genders, and I just started crying. And I was like, whoa, the world needs more of this. The world needs how I feel. And that was what started my whole journey. And so that's a little bit about my story. I'm going to get into what I have to share with you tonight, because I think it's kind of important just to dive right in, answer any questions you guys have, and talking about let's start now. I was, like I said, a year into, quote, the business at that point. I was a year into drinking Shakeology with no intentions of working the business. And I had my light bulb moment. And now I cannot actually fathom where my life would be without Beachbody. So we're going to go through some stuff tonight. We're going to go through the biggest gut check that I give myself all the time. It's something I had to give myself this month. And then we're going to go through some more things that I think are kind of important benchmarks to hit when you're building your business. I want you to know that wherever you're at, I've probably been. I think a lot of times you hear from what people say is top coaches on these team calls, and you all of a sudden put them on a pedestal. Like, oh, well, they've achieved this rank, or they've hit elite this many times, or she's been in here for this. I want you to just put us on the same playing field, because I've probably been in your shoes. I have lost rank. I have dropped rank many, many times. I have lost a business builder more times than I can count. I set a goal for myself to hit either a small goal or a big goal, and I missed the deadline, sometimes by a long shot. I feel that sometimes I feel like a failure, and I'm like, what am I actually doing? I've had days where my challenge groups are not engaging at all, and I'm like, what am I doing? So I want you to just go on this and listen for the next, X amount of minutes, and just remember that you are also where I am, and I am also where you are. So we are the same, and there is no difference between where I am and where you're at. So this is what I call the last 3 months rule. This is what my biggest gut check is in my business, and something that I come back to constantly when I am, quote, struggling. And I want you to ask yourself what this month looks like for you, like your Success Club numbers, maybe your new coaches or your new recruits, maybe how your engagement in your groups are going. And I want you to just take a second and be like, all right, realistically, I am here. And I want you to ask yourself, does that reflect how you worked and how strong you worked between the months of March and May? Because this is my biggest, not even just gut check, but it has revolutionized my business, because I think a lot of times we live in a microwave society and we really want to be in that crock pot society. I heard someone say that one time and I just have thought about it ever since then, because you might have a week where you just grind on Beachbody and you're like, I've had so many conversations, they're not going anywhere. Or like, I have spent so much time in my challenge group and like, there's nothing happening. But you're in a microwave society wanting immediate gratification versus looking at the long haul. Do you notice how I didn't say how much? Now, with a caveat, I think we live in a society where all of a sudden everyone wants to take their foot off the gas and they want to just work as little as possible for the maximum reward. You will never hear a top coach say they didn't have a grind season. But I think there's a difference of having a grind season and expecting to feel that way every day for the rest of your career. I think there are grind seasons that are necessary when you're going for certain goals, but I also think there should be something to be said about focusing on diligent, hard work, how strong you're working. I don't care what you've done or what you haven't done between January and now, okay? What's going to matter is what you do with now until the end of the year. I always argue that the third and fourth quarter, like some coaches really care about the first quarter and starting the year strong, and that's the fitness. All of a sudden, everyone's coming in. I argue that third and fourth are the most crucial quarters of the year because it's what sets you up for that first quarter. And so the 3 months prior to your current month is the reflection of what you are experiencing in your business right now. Because it is very rare, even now, 7 years in working this business, that I have someone that I have a conversation with and that day they sign up. It happens every certain while, but it feels like a unicorn moment. It is not the norm. The norm is developing relationships with people, because you have to remember too, when you're bringing on clients and coaches, I think we forget about the fact that our job is very vulnerable. People are going to be sending you photos that they might not even share with their spouse. They are uncomfortable. They are insecure. They are at some places of their life that they might not even really want to admit to themselves. And we expect them to put all of that aside and sign up that week. That's not how this works. That's not going to work, right? And so I think it's really important for you to understand that what you're doing now might not even translate in June. It might not even translate in July. But August and September come around, that's when the magic happens. That's when these people start to trust you, that you're not just another Beachbody coach, or you're not just someone on social media posting your workouts and they think you're the unicorn because you're the one working out 6 days a week, jumping up at the crack of dawn before the sun's awake. Like, think about that. These people are trying to figure out how to have any routine whatsoever. So we need to bridge the gap. And we need to fully embrace the fact that what we're doing now is going to actually pay off, but it might not be on our timeline. It's going to be on theirs, which is so much better. It's so much better because if my sister would have only waited for me for a month, she would have missed out on a very, very big part of her downline. She would have missed out on having her sister involved, my very best friend. Like, there were so many things that if she were to just say, oh, she's done, she said no, moving on, she would have missed out on. But she actually waited a year for me. So was it worth it? Absolutely. Even though I would argue that if I were to ask her during those months that she was waiting for me, if it was difficult or she had self-doubt or she questioned herself, that would have been a whole different story. We've got Lift More coming out. One of the best programs that you guys have watched Kristen and David just crush. We've got Summit. We've got a new leader conference qualification coming up, which another event that when you become a 1-star diamond, you get to go to. And that arguably is one of my favorite events I've ever been to in my 7 years of coaching, because it was such a powerful moment feeling valued by the company that you work with. You get talked to like a leader, you get leveled up. I remember walking in there and they had breakfast waiting for me. I'm like, where do I pay? They didn't make me pay. It was the weirdest experience because I didn't experience that in healthcare. That wasn't something that we got with our job. It was something totally different. I felt valued. And we have new Energize coming out in a week. Y'all, like, that's a huge, huge thing that I think we're like, oh, cool, new Energize. That'll be nice. That's a revolutionary thing in the fitness industry. A new flavor of something is massive. It's massive. We have a new trainer coming this fall, which I know about, David knows about. It's really exciting. Like, we have so many big things coming to Beachbody. You are just getting started this year. You are just getting started. And so if you're thinking, oh, I didn't hit my first quarter goals, or I'm behind on my vision board, or I'm not trending what I want for Elite, or you're telling yourself the story, you're just wasting time. You're just wasting time, because how you end this year is so much better than how you're going to start this year, regardless of where you're at. I didn't come into this business willing to accept what I consider to be failure or defeat by just saying, oh, well, I didn't hit my goals. Try again next year. No. Can you imagine if your client came to you and just said, no, I really wanted to lose, 50 pounds this year. I've only lost 6. Oh, well, try again next year. No, but that's so ridiculous. But the story we tell ourselves is an entirely different thing. This was funny because David on our call said public success and private failure. He had referenced those two things. And I had this slide ready to go from my dude, Tony Robbins, who's my biggest inspiration. But it's what you practice in private that you'll be rewarded for in public. And I put this slide on because so many of us have these big goals of, I want to be a diamond coach. I want to be a 2-star diamond coach. I want to be elite, or I want to hit Success Club this many months in a row, whatever. And we want to have that big celebration. And we expect it to not look messy along the way. We expect it to be kind of just like everything will fit into place. And it's going to happen, but then the second hardships happen, you just forget that, right? All of a sudden, it doesn't feel as fun anymore. And the coolest thing about hitting Elite or hitting 5-star or Superstar or any of the things that my team has done, it's because of all the hard shit we went through. It wasn't because of that moment of Sami Hoffines and Team Butterford are an elite team. It was, we're an elite team because we've had so many setbacks and we still rose through it. That is why I was proud that we were an elite team. And yeah, those setbacks were hard. That setbacks made me question myself, but it made it worth it. Self-doubt. Okay. I'm not going to get too much into this because I think a lot of times we just need personal development. But like, some of us just need to get our shit together this week. And I put that in here because some of us are very tough love. And sometimes I need to look myself in the mirror and be like, Sami, you have one of the greatest fitness supplements that gives you caffeine. Go drink some Energize and get your shit done. Stop second guessing it because you're spending more time overthinking it than you are doing it, or that it will even take to go do. Go send the invites. What if that invite changes someone's life? You're really not going to go send it today? For those of you that aren't so tough love and you do need a little bit more nurturing and you kind of want to talk to yourself in a better way, I mean, think about the song, you get knocked down, you get up again, right? That's the beauty of this business. You will never, ever, 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 mark my words, hear a top coach get on stage. And if they were once asked about their success, not talk about the setbacks. Because the setbacks are what create the success. I was suffering in this business because I was only focused on myself. I felt like I was so laser focused on what I wanted, what was not working for me, what I needed to change, what wasn't changing. And I took a step back and I remember that first time when I first helped somebody. The first 5 pounds I helped someone lose or gain, because I came into this business needing to gain weight. I was kind of obviously on the other end of the spectrum. And I was like, at one point, I only cared about helping other people. And it was fun. And it was awesome. And it was passionate. And it drove me to wake up early and stay up later because I knew that what I was doing was drastically impacting someone else like my sister had done for me. And then at some point things shifted into the Sami show. And I didn't mean for it to do that. It just did, because I was getting laser focused on my goals. And this is what I wanted. And it was no longer fun. Have you ever felt like that when the business, all of a sudden you're in burnout? Probably because you're focusing on yourself. And you're focusing on the only person you can see, and you forgot why you loved it in the first place. And so when we go back to the basics, I'm not going to get too much into this, but these are the gut checks that I tell my own team and what I do as well myself. Because the tracker, like the holy grail of this business, it's so easy. It's simple. And I put at the bottom here, our business is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's the left side of this page. And I can guarantee that what I'm feeling this month, if my Success Club numbers are lower, or people are not saying no, or people are saying no, the last 3 months that I've been working my business, I haven't done the tracker. So ask yourself, it's more than the tracker though. That's the baseline. If you're going to skip that, you're skipping the foundation of our business. This is just one of the many trackers that I've used in the past, but I just like it if you want a new one. What are you doing in your workouts? Are you actually enjoying them? Because there are times where I have gotten through a program and I lost the joy of what I was doing because it just wasn't at the season that I needed it to be. We want you to be excited about your workouts, because what that does is it fuels your life that will fuel other people's life, and the mission continues. So if you are waking up this morning and you're like, I have to do this program, I'm on week 4, day 1, blah, blah. Sure, some days you're going to feel like that. But if that's a consistent feeling every single day and you are dreading your workouts, that's the foundation. We are a fitness business. We can't lose that passion. We might need to go back to the basics. Last summer, I felt this way. And I was going through the motions. I'm also not someone who does really good with hybrids, because like I just am all over the place, or I just try random workouts. So you know what I did? I did Insanity Asylum, and it was horrible and it was awesome all at the same time. And you know, the last time I heard someone do Insanity Asylum, it was when I started Beachbody. I went rogue. I forgot which program even launched. I don't know. We were in the middle of a launch and I went completely rogue on Beachbody, which, you know, I don't necessarily recommend, but I was in a really bad mental place. And I freaking loved Asylum. And it was so different. I want you to have that feeling again. And Lift More might be your thing. And if Lift More is your thing, go do Lift 4 up till Lift More. Like, set yourself up to be excited again. It's okay. What are you doing in your personal development? You guys have 2 of the best uplines for this. If you're struggling mentally, we need to go back to the basics here. We need to figure that out, because if you aren't feeling good, of course your business isn't feeling good either. Have you revamped your challenge groups? I've had to do this pretty much year after year because you get into the habit. Have you connected to connect? Or have you connected to cross off your tracker? And I think we've all gotten through that at certain points of our business where you're just going through the motions. Here's my invite, here's my connection, here's this. But we lost the passion. We started doing it for ourselves, to check a box, to go hit Success Club, to go do our business. And when you start putting it back on them, it becomes fun again. Have you been coachable? Jamie always, whenever I ask her what's her number 1 trait in a business builder, it has nothing to do with numbers, has nothing to do with social media following, it has nothing to do with other than the facts is, are you coachable? If you hear something David says on a team call and you're like, ooh, could be a good idea, but I'm too busy, or that wouldn't work for me because, or, you know, I tried that last year, it didn't work for me. We might not be so coachable. And that's a good gut check too, because I feel like for myself, I go through seasons of being super coachable because I'm ready for it. And then other times I'm not. We need to stop focusing on the extrinsic reward. What do I mean by that? I genuinely feel sometimes we care more about hitting diamond or hitting elite than we do about the journey it takes to get there. We want that shiny moment of walking across the stage or getting a gift or telling everybody that you are a diamond coach than we do about the journey it takes to get there. And again, we don't mean to get like that, but we get in the grind of doing that. Why don't we go back to the reason you started, the reason you want to do this business in the first place? How can you connect with someone today? How can you improve someone's life today? How can you go offer something in your challenge group that's going to impact people in a bigger way? How are you going to set yourself up for the biggest quarter, the biggest fourth quarter ever this year? Because you are sitting on this call and you might be an emerald coach and struggling with your rank, going back and forth, back and forth. And you know what? You could end this year as a 2-star diamond coach. I am 1000% confident in that. Are you? Because I shouldn't be more confident in your business than you are, but I have seen incredible things happen. I had a coach in 2020. She signed up and in 3 days, she was a diamond coach. Another coach, one of mine, she's my top coach. She signed up 30 days later, was diamond. The next year, her second year as a coach, she's an elite coach. She is now going for her 3rd year of elite in a row. She was a teacher. She was busy. But you know what? It showed me that it was possible. I took longer than both of them to hit diamond. But what those stories told me was that you want it, all it's going to take is effort and belief. It is in your control to do that. You can be the testimony. You could be the coach that's sitting here questioning X, Y, and Z, have a conversation, and you know what? You could be diamond on Thursday. And if you're already talking yourself out by saying, well, I have too far to go, we need to go back to personal development, because you need to know that that is very possible. It's up to you to believe that, you to be the testimony. And whether it's Thursday or it's not is irrelevant. It's the idea that the belief in yourself needs to be there. You need to create your own legacy. If I would have started this business and had the idea that we were going to accomplish what we accomplished in the last 7 years, it would have baffled me, but I had to believe that it was possible. Otherwise, it would have never happened. Focus on your greatest weakness. If you can do that, say your weakness is social media. You're scared to share, or maybe it's inviting. You just is on your to-do list every day and you just keep putting it off. Or maybe it's, you know what? You have a lot of conversations, but they just don't translate into having people actually sign up. You know your weakness better than anybody else. I know my weakness. If you can get really good at it, 1, it no longer becomes a weakness, but 2, your business just got completely transformed. That's what I did my whole journey on the way to 5-star. It was humbling telling myself, you know what, Sami, you're really not that good at X, Y, and Z. I'm going to learn. I'm going to research. I'm going to watch coaches that are really good at it. And instead of comparing, I'm taking freaking notes. I'm sitting there. What are they doing that I'm not doing? How can I get really good at it? I became a student, which probably helps because I was a student for 7 years of college and never became a doctor. I did get my master's, but I think it's important to note that because I wanted to be a sponge to the idea, because if I could no longer have it as a weakness, my business completely moved forward. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for permission from your spouse, from your upline, from your downline, for the other people on social media to grow your freaking business. Focus on the income producing activities. When you sit down, if the very first thing you do is go to create a Canva, our businesses are not aligned. If you only have 10 minutes to work your business, what I tell my coaches is talk to people. I don't care if you did absolutely nothing else today. If you don't talk to people, your business will not grow. Period. It won't. I don't care if you have the prettiest social media, the prettiest reel, the prettiest Canva graphic, the prettiest team page. I don't care about all of that if you're not talking to people, because you can set up a whole different coach mentorship or an incredible new client guide. And if you don't have any clients, there's no purpose to it, right? The sun set on all of us last night, but the one thing we all have in common is the effort to do this business. It's just a matter of where you leverage yours. What you're doing now is setting yourself up for then. So it's up to you where your threshold is going to be. I think the biggest thing for me is setting out especially when I was busy. If you guys are busy, you work full-time jobs, or your parents, to me, parents are superheroes. I literally don't know how you survive. I will do a brain dump. And I will prioritize 1 through 10, 20, 30, 40, however many things are on this list. I did it every night before I would go to bed. So that if I got through 3 things, they were the most important 3 things. Conversations, invites, those were number 1 and 2. Every day. Because if you can talk nonstop to people, you'll figure out the rest. You don't have to have a pretty challenge group. You don't have to have all the things in place. Guys, I still am learning all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't even have this piece. Or, wow, my thing needs to be revamped. But what I am really good at is just talking to people all the time. That builds trust. So that Q3 and Q4, I can go back and I can say, I was talking to Sarah from February. Sarah was going to be postpartum this summer. She wanted to get involved, to reach out then. I'm going to go check in with her, see how her baby's doing, how she's doing. It builds character, it builds you, and it also builds your passion. Start now. Don't let your current experience stop your progress. Going on a rant over here. Sorry, I'm almost done. All right. Another thing I will try to always do is, I'm an Enneagram 3. If you don't know what that means, it means I care about goal setting more than pretty much everything else in my life. I want you to get very clear on what that goal, that next goal is. Excuse me. Not the big goal. The big goal might be, I'm going to go full-time with Beachbody. Great. That's a huge, amazing goal. I want to know what's going to wake you up tomorrow. What is the reason for you wanting to go hit diamond? Get clear on that. One time someone asked me right before we were going to go for Elite, Sami, why Elite? I had no idea. I'll be honest, I had no idea. I thought it was because I was told to hit Elite. I thought it was going to be important, probably going to help my income. But there was no clarity as to why. I'm like, oh, well, I'd love for our team to be recognized for our hard work. And the question back was, well, why would that change from your hard work today? Then I realized when I hit Elite, if I was in the top 200, I'm a numbers person. If I held 5-star for every quarter, that was approximately, give or take, depending on the revenue of the company, $3,000 as a quarterly bonus. So that could potentially be a $12,000 raise. As somebody who made $24,000 as a dental assistant, I would actually change my life. Then, if you're in the top 200 as an elite coach, if you hold your 5-star for each month, Beachbody gives you a bonus $500 in your check. That was another $6,000 of potential. So if I would have held my rank for a year as an elite coach, that could be potentially $18,000. What would that do for my life? Y'all, I was living in California with Adam. I don't know if any of you guys live in California. That was life-changing. What would that do for my happiness and my relief and my future and my family? I got very clear what that goal did for me. If diamond is your goal, figure out what in the compensation plan you get to unlock. What that's going to do for you. Because if you can translate that, your why just grew. You'll wake up tomorrow, your alarm will go off. You'll look at your phone, you'll be like, oh, kind of tired. Oh, but what about that $18,000 raise? Because I knew I wasn't getting that in my job. if Beachbody was going to do that for me and hitting Elite could do that for me, and that was going to come down to my hard work, was my limiting belief of I might feel like a failure really going to stop me? It felt silly at that point, right? And then I shared that with my team. And so many people will say, how do you make hitting diamond or 2-star not an I thing? It's only an I thing if you think it is, and I guarantee you don't. The fact that I knew that I could help my sister rank advance was the coolest feeling to me. I remember pushing to diamond for that. Knowing your hard work is a team effort, because you can't hit diamond alone. You can't hit 2-star alone. You can't hit elite alone. It is truly your vision coming to life. If you want to change, you have to change. Simple as that. Successful people aren't better than you. They aren't. They're just doing things differently. They're prioritizing. There might be more time involved. If you're feeling uninspired or you're feeling kind of blah in your business, or I hear a lot of people say the word funk, have you done anything about it? Because that's where my gut check is. When I think about my 2023 team, because who you're recruiting right now is going to impact what's coming in the next year or the next 5 years or the next 10 years of your business. And when I look at my biggest inspirations on this list, I'm like, man, what if I just keep going and I 10x a little bit more, and all of a sudden I recruit an Angie Belmar, or I recruit a Kelsey Hill, or shoot, what if you recruit yourself and you duplicate your own passion in this business? If you want this business to be easier, work harder now. And maybe things will happen a whole lot faster than you think. Do you have any questions? I think I went a little over, so sorry.
Oh my God, mind blown.
That's awesome. So needed.
Really nice job.
So
Oh my
needed.
goodness. Unbelievable. Guys, I don't want to take much more of Sami's time. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to say back before we let her go, and then we go into our stuff? Anybody? Alyssa.
Sami, it's not necessarily a question. I mean, first of all, like, awesome job. And second of all, I appreciate your vulnerability, because I relate to a lot of the things that you have said. I had been doing Beachbody for a while, just the workouts and stuff. And David will tell you that I was like on the fence about like doing this now, but just like the experiences that you've had in the past, like, thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people go through those things and they are nervous maybe to kind of like say it or whatever, because I have also, but it's just like nice to know that, you know, there are other people sharing that, but it's just like, it's nice to hear the backstory of how you get into those things. So thank you and good job.
Thank you. I mean, just for one little like what my like almost quitting moment, I actually spoke about this at New Leader Conference 2 years ago, right before the pandemic started. My hardest part of my business was when I was and I will always say that going from sign up to superstar, my hardest part mentally was emerald to 1-star. I always say that that right there is where you question yourself the most, and you sign up somebody and someone quits, and you sign up someone and they go inactive, and you're like spinning your wheels constantly until you get into a groove. And I hit 1-star diamond and I thought, like, this is it. This is going to be my team. We're going to go elite. We're going to make these things happen. I don't want to say it was easy, but she was like running with me. Well, I went to Coach Summit after a year of working. We were a 1-star diamond. I was actually walking on the field in Nashville. It was a field you kind of represented your team with a flag. And here I am on cloud 9. I have this 1-star diamond flag, and I'm like, yes, our team did it. Like, next year we're going to be elite. And if you're ever in the Summit Stadium, you have like no cell phone service because there's too many people usually. They've gotten a little bit better, but Nashville was really bad. And I got an email and it said coach cancellation, but it was all encrypted. And I just had this weird feeling. And then when my phone finally loaded, it was the diamond coach that helped our team hit 1-star. And I had no message from her. It was just a straight up cancellation. And I came back to my room that day and I was rooming with two of my like brand new baby Emerald coaches. And I'm just sobbing. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do Beachbody. Like if I can't even get her to stay, how are we going to do this? Well, full circle moment. The girls that I was hugging ended up going to hit Diamond. They were two bridesmaids in my wedding. And one of them is now a 3-time elite coach underneath me and a top earner on my team. And so it was a very questionable, hard moment in my coaching career, but it's those moments that shaped the whole story for me. And it was like the time where maybe I just didn't really know what was coming, but in hindsight, it all made sense. It all made sense, and it was hard and it was worth it, but I just share that because I think it's important to know that like I have had those moments too, and it's difficult, but it's priceless in the long run.
Wow, everything happens for a reason, and that is just such a story. Wow. Anybody else will do one more question before we let Sami go, and we'll jump into our announcements. Anybody else have anything to add? Anybody? All right, guys, if nobody has any questions,
Sami, you're amazing.
absolutely
Thank you so much.
amazing. Thank you so much.
You go get some rest, Mama.
Get some rest. And Sami, I'll talk to you on the cab thread and see you soon. And team, hang on. We're going to start our team announcements. Thanks, Sami.
Bye, Sami.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good night.
Bye. How amazing was that?
So good.
Oh,
I so needed to hear a lot of what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we've been doing this a long time, guys, just know like we all need that kick in the butt. We really do.
I was just telling Kristen in a cab meeting for hours when we were in Sundance, Utah. Sami was next to me for 2 days of 8 hours of meetings. She's just the most down-to-earth person, and it really makes me say, as you guys could, like, if she can do it, why can't you do it? Like, she's nothing. She's a double 15-star, which means her quarterly bonus every quarter is probably around $65,000, just to put it in perspective as a double superstar. So
can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Believe it.
You got to believe it. All right, guys. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to go over I'm going to breeze through this, but there's some important things. So let me just get this up. Give me 1 second. Okay. There we go. I'm just opening it. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, breezing through. So stay with me. The national wake-up call today was Christine Dwyer, 8-time elite coach. I was listening to it in the kitchen. Kristen had it on. Great call if you missed it. Again, the national wake-up call is a call put on by Beachbody Corporate. They host a top coach in the company, every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. You can get it on the podcast, which goes up on recording, or you can watch it live on the Team Beachbody 411 Coach Facebook page, which everybody should be following. Some push goals. New leader conference, which Sami spoke about. You have to be a 1-star diamond by the end of the year. Elite coach, you have to be a 5-star diamond with 105 leadership points. Premier coach, 75 leadership points, and be a 2-star. Top recruiters for this month so far: Liza Beth Polster, 6 new coaches. 2 new coaches, Kara, I saw them both on the call. Congratulations, ladies. And 1 new coach for Diane, Joan, Joanna, Lisa, Sarah, Tomiko, Vanessa, Melanie, Nicole, Nicholas, Rosanna, Shannon, and Shelly. So great job to everybody on here. The Coach Connection Club. Kristen has that going on right now. That is for new coaches. She's starting it again next week, and it's where she helps you learn and bridge the gap in the foundation of connecting with new people. We heard Sami talk about it. The most important thing every day in your business is making new connections, building relationships, and sending your invites. Because if you do that, everything else will fall into place. So if you have interest in doing and getting in the Connection Club, please message Kristen or I, and we can get you in the Connection Club, and she's going to kick it off fresh again next week. All right. This is one of the big announcements. So Lift More is coming out in less than a month. It is going to be a gigantic launch in the company. So right now we have a Lift More Snoop group or informational group with our team. You can see there's 1,000 people in there right now. This is where you can invite people to join this group. It's a free group where we're going to be posting information about Lift More over the next couple of weeks. I went live and spoke about it last week. The sample workout for this program that is free comes out 1 week from today. I announced that in the group. We will post a link to the sample workout in the group. This is something, guys, you do not want to wait for this program to come out in 3.5 weeks and then start inviting people to do it. You are behind the 8 ball. You want to get people talking about it with you now and invite them to this group. I have a gentleman right now, a guy that's signing up, getting a total solution pack to start working out. He is going to do Lift 4, which is the prequel to Lift More. He's going to do that the next couple of weeks and then do Lift More in 4 weeks. So the point being is I'm starting now. You have huge opportunity of a huge launch with an amazing program. So my recommendation is to be talking the heck out of Lift 4, heck out of Lift More, to be doing Lift 4 possibly right now so you're familiar with it and that you're inviting people to this Snoop group. Guys, there's opportunity right now for your business to grow. This is coming. You need to get out in front of this. We are going to do a 3-day refresh team perseverance group. Team-wide, July 5th through 7th, after the July 4th barbecues next weekend, 3-day refresh. You get rid of the bloat, you drop a couple pounds. It's a great little program to start. We are going to do this July 5th, 6th, and 7th. We would love for all of you to do it. And guess what, guys? When you do it, not only do you get results, you can share it with other people or start talking about it now and get people to do it with you and invite people to join your 3-day refresh group. You say, pair up with me, let's do it together. So people would need to purchase the 3-day refresh in the next week so they have it for July 5th through 7th.
I will go live on the team page tomorrow to talk about this and give you guys just a little write-up sample. And then you can talk about it in your groups. I put it in our challenge group. So also, guys, coaches, put it in your challenge group. Put it out there to your challengers, to your coaches. Let's do it together. Let's get results. We will run a group together. So anybody that you have that joins that wants to do it with you, you can plug them right into our group. We have this scheduled post that goes through the prep for the refresh and everything. This is just a great way to get people to get started. Sometimes it's just easier than saying let's do a total solution pack. Let's just get you in, let's do a 3-day cleanse together. Let's get you feeling good. And then from there, if they want to continue, then you would go to a challenge pack. So
and guys, think how this business all is in synergy. If you're making new connections every day and you're talking to people, they're going to watch your stories and your posts. If in your stories and posts, you're talking about after July 4th, you're going to do a 3-day refresh group so you feel good again, get rid of the bloat, they're going to see that. Then they're going to probably either ask you about it, or when you invite them, you can invite them to it because they're watching your stuff. It all comes together. You need to be sharing your journey, sharing what you're doing, talking about 3-day refresh, talking about Lift More coming up, what you plan on doing. You make new connections with people. They watch your stuff. That's how momentum, that's how this business grows. The next, exclusive invite only. So let's talk about this.
Okay, so I'm teaming up with Melanie and Ro, June 29th through the 1st, and we're doing a 3-day, it's like a Snoop group into coaching. We're going to be doing this every month. We're doing it a little bit different going forward. Lindsay and Shannon and them have been doing this, and they're having good success. I'm kind of tweaking it a little bit. After we spoke to Holly Hillier a week ago or so, she runs her sneak peeks or Snoop groups, whatever she calls them, like a challenge group, but like a coach info session. So she does coach training. She gives everybody free workouts and they post their sweaty pictures every day. It basically is giving you the coaching experience, like what's expected of you as a coach, with coach stories and objections addressed and everything in the, I think hers is 5 days. We're going to do 3 days. So everybody is invited to invite to this. We're going to be inviting people privately who we think would be great coaches. If you have challengers that are showing up every day and doing a great job, invite them to be a coach on your team. If you have current coaches that maybe aren't really working the business or haven't really gotten their business off the ground, get them in there so you can kind of get them excited about this. It's also going to be kind of an interview. We're going to have set some expectations in the beginning of the group, like you're expected to be commenting, you're expected to be engaging in the group, because we want to know that you're going to be invested in this if you're going to be a coach on our team. So we're not just taking anybody. We want to kind of vet people out to make sure it's a good fit for everybody. So that's coming up. I will go live on the team page and talk more about that as well.
All right, just so you guys know, big question. Want to earn more income? Everybody does. So on Fridays, we are going to be having accountability calls for people that want to truly grow their business, that are willing to put in the work. Here's the deal. To be in this group, you at least have to be an emerald. And do you want to say something?
No, the time we were going to do it.
12 o'clock on Fridays, Eastern time. It's going to be accountability calls. You're going to come in. You're going to report your tracker, your numbers. It's rapid fire. It's not to talk about your prospect, Nancy, that gave you an objection. It's to check in because you want to earn more income. You have to be an Emerald coach, and you also do. Is that it? Just Emeralds?
No,
and
that's
hit
it.
successful? No?
No.
Okay. So you have to be an Emerald coach to be in, and you have to basically show that you want to be in and be willing to put the work. If you're interested and you get to Emeralds, I did a call on this with other diamond leaders on the team and explained why we're doing what we're doing, how we're going to grow income, how we're going to build volume, and how we're going to grow towards becoming a team leader. That's a rank within Beachbody. So that's out there for everybody. You need to reach out to us or your upline diamond to talk to them about it so they can see if you get in. This is not what you want to miss. All right, Coach Summit is in less than a month. Guys, I have to say that if it wasn't for me getting to my first summit, none of us would be here, or I wouldn't be here right now. It wasn't until I physically got there, and I remember seeing Tommy Migrant on stage and hearing him speak and said, oh my God, if he can do this, I can do it. And seeing the massive, how big this opportunity really is. I did not feel that, see it, taste it, believe it until I got to Coach Summit. And Chris and I always said, because this is like, I don't know, our 10th summit or something, I've lost track. You will have FOMO if you're not there. It's never going to be convenient to get there. You're never going to have extra money in your bank account to get there. It's never going to work. But as you heard Sami talk about, if you truly have a vision and you want to build this, this is a sacrifice which requires you to get there. So it's part of your business.
You will leave a different person.
100%.
A different coach. Everything will change.
So, okay, couple other important announcements. Earn a bonus this month only. So in June, if you are a paid rank of diamond and below, and you can get an additional $25 bonus, you can earn $25 extra dollars by helping your first person or one more person than you did in the month of May. If you never enrolled somebody, you just enroll one person. If you help them with the total solution pack get started, you get a $25 bonus. Okay. You also have an opportunity to earn an even bigger bonus. If you help 3 personally sponsored coaches earn a $25 bonus, you will then earn a $100 bonus. So basically, guys, it's called help one more. So you need to help one more person than you did last month, or if you help no one in May and you help one person this month, you earn an extra $25. You could earn an extra $100 by helping 3 of your coaches do the same, okay? This month only, it's called Help One More promotion that is going on. The info is in the Coach Online office if you want to read more about it. Fire and Flow VIP Early Access is now available. That just came out this month. You guys know that. Your personalized promo code on the 1st of the month. Everybody on this call got an email from Team Beachbody to give you a $20 off coupon code that you can give to any of your customers. It cannot be used for the Fire and Flow packs for this month. They're already discounted. But if somebody wants to get a regular total solution pack that's $160, you can give them your personalized promo code, which I believe it's June, your first name, 2022, or June, I forget what it is. You have to check your email. We all got it. You give them that, and their pack will be $20 off. You can use it as you feel fit. All right. Next week, June 27th, strawberry lemonade Energize is coming out. I tasted this about a year ago. It is about a year ago, just under a year ago. I tasted it while on cab. It was very good. Everybody on here should be getting some. You should be talking about it. You should leverage it. You should be drinking it. So next week, everybody should be ordering at least a tub of the strawberry lemonade. And then you can share it, guys. Remember that. 4-week gut protocol, Optimize and Revitalize, is back in stock. We got our supplements. So I know it's sold out in like 24 hours when this program came out. It's back in stock. So I recommend everybody that wanted the supplements to go ahead and get them.
I absolutely 100% believe the supplements, they make a difference, because I did gut protocol all in with them. And then when we started Lift More, I stopped using them, but I was still following gut protocol pretty much. Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different experience, I swear. So I'm back on them again.
They're back in stock. The last slide for the night, guys. The Success Club Secret Society. You could talk on this.
So congratulations to those of you that earned yours for this month. It was tonight. I know Ro was on with live with Bobby and Autumn, and they were making a dinner chicken piccata together. Next month, we will have another special prize for anybody who earns Success Club this month. Is it an Emerald coach, or is already an existing Emerald coach that brings on 2 new coaches? So if you already earned it, you have to bring on 2 new coaches or PCs in the month, plus hit Success Club to earn the next prize. And they're really, really cool.
All right, guys, that's all we have. I know we went for a full hour, but I think Sammy's call was amazing.
Thanks.
I'll put the recording up. Guys, the most important thing, have conversations and get your invites done. Everything else will take care of itself. And with that, guys, love you all. Have a great rest of your week. And let's kick some ass. There's major great things happening in the foreseeable future. Let's do it.
Bye.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.